Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I decided to do something a little bit different for this video. I always get a lot of questions on how I got my job at MAC and how I started and what my process was like and everything like that. So I figured that I would just do a video dedicated to how I got started there. I currently do not work there anymore, but I would tell you guys the process on how I got hired from when I was working there and everything that I went through. So if you guys would like to see that video, then just keep on watching. So before we get into this video, I do want to say that I do have a tutorial coming up on this look here. I call it like the classic beauty look with some lashes, a nice bold wing liner, and a red lip. It's something super easy, but it still helps you look made and put together. So if you guys want to see that, I will have that one coming up super soon, so stay on the lookout for that. But back into what we're supposed to be talking about, the video on how I got into MAC. So I applied to MAC in about April of 2013, and I just walked right in. I looked the part. That's the most important thing. I looked the part. I dressed in all black. My makeup was done, my hair was done, my nails were done, my toes wasn't looking cruddy. Like, you look to the T if you want to go and you want to work at a specific place. Not just for MAC, but anywhere you want to go, you always want to actually look like you currently work there already. So I went in and I asked for the manager. Actually, I asked one of the girls if the manager was there. The manager happened to be there the day that I went, thankfully, and I asked if they were hiring. The manager told me they actually were hiring. She told me to come back and bring my resume in and we can go from there. So I came in the following day. I brought my resume in and she was there the same day, and we actually set up a time for me to have an interview with her. So the interview that I had was for the following week. I went into the interview and everything just went great. We sat down, we talked, I went over my previous experience and everything like that. I think the one thing that really put her over the edge about me that she really loved was the fact that I used to work in the dining industry. I used to work as in a diner, so she really loved that because she felt as though the people that worked in the restaurant industry really understood how to work with people, difficult people, catering to people, just had great customer service skills. Well, understood customer service skills. So she really enjoyed that. So from there, she was happy with the way our conversation went, and then she set me up to give me a call so that way I can set up my interview for the second part. So I was super excited about that. So maybe about a couple weeks later, she gave me a call and said, hey, I have a time set up for you. You're going to meet with this person at this time at this location, so that way we can do your makeup interview. And this is like the hands-on to actually make sure that I actually know how to do makeup. They told me you just need to bring in a model, we'll supply everything else. We supply the makeup, we supply the brushes, everything else. Just make sure you dress like you're working with us already. Make sure you're not wearing sneakers or anything like that. Have your just look really nice and clean, and bring your model, and I'll see you there. I'm like, okay, great, say no more, no problem at all. This happened to be in about, if I said April, this probably was in about the end of May that she called me for the part 2 of the application process. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then literally maybe an hour later, I got a call back and they said, hey, actually things have gone a little bit unexpectedly here, and we're not allowed to hire anybody right now. We can't fire anybody. We're just at a standstill with things that are going on, and this is from the corporate end, so we can't hire you. And I'm like, okay. She's like, but if you would like, I'll still keep your application on file, so that way when things do get back up and running and everything, then I can call you back in, and then we can go move forward with the second part of the interview. So I'm like, all right, sure, fine. I was so devastated. Like, I had just called my mom and my dad. I'm like, yes, like, I'm about to do this other interview. I'm so excited. I'm like, I know how to do makeup, hands down, I'm good. Like, and it was shocking because most people who come in, you do have to bring in a portfolio to the manager or whoever is hiring you at the time, because they want to see your skill set. They want to know that you actually know what you're doing. But this lady, I'm guessing she saw my face and she liked my personality and understood, like, looked at my background and didn't think that I needed to bring in a portfolio. So that's one thing that was different from my experience and other people's experience. So I do want to mention that. So if you are looking to go and apply for a position, I will suggest that you do have a portfolio ready just in case they do ask. But back to this part of the story. So that was around late May that this happened, and I hadn't heard from them all summer. I was devastated. I just didn't know what to do. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I just started applying to other places, but I wasn't really getting the feedback that I wanted to. Then again, I really wasn't pushing that hard for these jobs as the way that I was pushing for Mac, so I could understand. And then the semester had started in August, and I would move back up to school. And in October, actually, they ended up calling me. A phone number called me in the middle of class. I didn't answer the phone, 1 because I was in class, and 2 because I didn't recognize the number. And then I saw that they left the voicemail. So I'm like, all right, who's calling me? Number 1. Number 2, like, why are you leaving me a voicemail? Like, what is that important? And I'm like, why didn't you just text me if it was like somebody that I knew and just didn't recognize the number? So I stepped out of class, acted like I had to go to the bathroom, and I listened to the voicemail, and I was like, hi, this is so-and-so from Meg. We were just wondering if you were still interested in the position. I'm like, listen, I didn't even listen to the rest of the voicemail, okay? I called right back like, hi, can I speak to blah, 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 blah? Like, yes, please, I still want this job. Like, yes, of course. And he was like, all right, cool. Well, you can come in tomorrow and bring your model and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what do you mean come in tomorrow? Like, I'm all the way up school. I didn't have a car at the time. This is about an hour away from where I go to school. How was I going to find somebody who was a model to come to the location that I needed to be at to do this interview? And it was like, well, this is the only time we have available. I mean, so if not, then I'm not really sure what to tell you. I said, you know what, don't worry about it, I'll make it happen. So then I called around, nobody could do it, and then I asked my one friend, and she actually left class, and she drove at the time because she did have a car, and she was like, don't worry about it, Whitney. She was like, if you can get out of class, I will make sure that I get out of class, and I will be a model, and I will go there. And I'm like, yes, yes. So that day came. We went to the location where we had to go. I went and I had on an all black dress, I had on some heels, my makeup, I had like a smoky eye and a purple lip, like a deep plum purplish lip, and then I just had my hair nice and straight, and I actually had purple streaks in my hair. And the one thing that I liked about MAC was that you can be creative, you can be who you are, you can do whatever you want to do when it comes to style. So I didn't have to worry about dressing too professional. Like, they want you to come, like, yes, be creative. They're leading in creativity in the way that they dress as far as retail goes. So they want you to stand out from the rest of the companies out there. They don't want to look like everybody that works at Ulta and Sephora and other makeup counters. So that's how they want us to portray ourselves. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I went in there, but then I didn't know they were gonna have me running around, because usually when I looked at other YouTube videos, they said, hey, we want you, they said their process was like, all right, we're gonna do a day to nighttime look. So in my mind, I had something that was already set, because the majority of the videos that I had saw was people doing day to nighttime looks. So that's what I already planned in my head. And so when the woman came in, she said, all right, how you doing? She introduced herself, introduced me to the products, and gave me my tools and utensils I was going to use. And she said, all right, get started. And I'm like, all right, well, what look am I doing? She was like, whatever your model wants. So I'm like, yes. So I'm looking at her like, B, you better not pick nothing real hard. I'm going to chop you, okay? Like, please don't, not today. Like, make this as easy for me as possible. So she just told me to give her like a nice natural look with like glowy skin. She wanted something that was very dramatic on the lip, but then neutral eyes, something that she could wear every day. So I'm like, oh, I got this, I got this. She probably was feeling my gaze at her like, listen, don't play with me today, not today. So I did that, but I made sure that it was okay if I changed my shoes first. I had no idea that I was gonna be running around, and child, y'all know that I was not running around no heels for no interview. Like, that was not allowed to work. So I had brought an extra pair of flats, and they were like the cute little Tom flats. They were black still, so that I could stay within dress code, and it had a little bit of gold on there. I asked if it was appropriate first, and they made sure it was okay. She was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I went through that interview. I mean, I got done a little slow. I wasn't, because I wanted it to be perfect. I didn't know that it didn't need to be absolutely perfect. It just needed to look great, executed perfectly, and there were a lot of other steps that you had to take as far as putting the brush in their hair, showing them how to apply the product, and talking to them about the product, telling them what you did, why you chose certain products that you did, and everything along that nature. So of course I didn't work for the company at the time, so I didn't know like what the foundation of what the interview was supposed to be. I just thought, hey, just make sure you do the makeup. But it's more about the experience and having that person learn something when they walk out the door than them just actually getting their makeup applied. I went through that. She told me they were gonna give me a call back. The manager that I had applied to originally at the counter, she gave me a call maybe a couple days later, and she told me that I had passed that interview. And she was like, you know, but the woman did tell me that you wore sneakers, like flats, to your interview. That's not acceptable. And I'm like, first off, I didn't have sneakers. Second off, why would you say that if you told me that it was okay for me to wear these shoes? But I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna chalk it up, I'm gonna eat it, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm like, you know what, my apologies, I'm sorry. I did originally come in with heels, but I thought I was a little bit more comfortable in the other shoes, so that's why I had brought those. And she was fine with it. She wasn't upset. So she told me, all right, so we have you set up for your next interview in 2 days. I'm like, another interview? Like, what the heck? How many more interviews I have? So then I went to the Mac store. It was the largest store, and I think that it might be the flagship store. I'm not going to say for sure, but I know it is a Mac Pro store. I do know that. And I met with the regional manager, and we sat down, we talked. She asked me the basic questions, like, you know, tell me about your customer service skills, tell me about your personality, you know, what can you add to the team, why Mac, what is your availability, blah 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 blah, things like that. The only thing I had to tell them that I thought may have been a concern that I just wanted to address in the beginning was the fact that I was still in school, and that I probably wouldn't be able to work during the week. I wouldn't mind being a part-timer, but I have to work during the weekends. She didn't have any issues with that. Then I actually ended up getting hired. I got hired so all that happened in October, like the very beginning of October. I started in the middle of October, and I worked all the way for about 2 years before I had to leave. And my experience with Mac was great. The training was absolutely great. You get quarterly training, so you do 4 trainings a year. And I'm sorry, yeah, it's core trainings. You do those 4 trainings a year. The trainings and the basic training, updates, all of that stuff is only for permanent artists. I was hired as a permanent artist from the very beginning. I did not start off as a freelancer. You do not get trainings if you are a freelancer. You do not get like the updates, all of that stuff. You do not get the gratis. All of that stuff is for permanent employees. I started off at 15 hours a week, and that was only for when I was doing school. Sometimes it was a little bit higher. I might get pushed to 20, and then throughout the summer I would be maybe like around 25. At the max I was 28 hours a week. I wanted to do more, but you know, I was still a part-timer, so I just chalked it up. So I was very excited about that. I met some absolutely great and wonderful people. I still keep in contact with a lot of people that I've met, like, because you connect with so many people, whether it's from my area, different states. You get to meet so many people. They do allow you to travel sometimes, where you have so many different opportunities that come in. If you work hard, it's easy to move up if you actually do your part. Now I will say that with all of that being said, it's still a very hard job. You are doing makeup. You have makeup applications that you have to do. There are certifications that you must pass. Like, you do not just come in and do makeup and just go home. You have face charts that must be done. You have monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals. There are a lot of goals that you have to meet. You will be fired if you do not meet those goals. Like, that, at the end of the day, it's a makeup job, but it's still about sales, and it's still about how you can bring in the money for the company. That is the #1 thing. So if you can sell your butt off, don't worry about anything else. I mean, you should still know how to do makeup, but it's about the ching, okay? That's what it's about. So that is pretty much #1 in their eyes, making the money. There are credit cards that you have to. I worked at the counter, so I didn't have to do some things that were like there at the store, but like where I was in a Bloomingdale's, so I had to open up rewards cards. I had to open up Bloomingdale's cards. Yeah, I'm doing face charts. You don't get some of the things that you are supposed to get until you do those face charts, and face charts must be complete. You do get your 60% off discount. You do get your gratis and everything else like that. You get gratis twice a year, and I think there's about $200 worth of free products that you can get, so that's very exciting. So overall, it was a really great experience. The only reason I had to leave was because I needed to finish school, and it was becoming a very hectic responsibility, traveling back and forth from school and to work back and forth every weekend. And it was kind of hard for me, and my schoolwork started to suffer because I was traveling. I was very tired. I would go to class, and then straight from class on Fridays I would drive straight on the highway and get on the turnpike, and then I'll go straight to work, and then I'll wake up, I'll close that night, I'll open the next morning, I'll work all that day, come in on Sundays, open to close, and then drive all the way back up to school. It was becoming so much, and I had no time on the weekends to do projects or homework or anything like that. So I'm very excited that I got the opportunity to be a part of such a great company. I loved it to death. It's something that I would never trade in the world at all. You had so much experience, so many certifications under my belt now, and that opportunity that I have is something that is invaluable. I got sales training, I got makeup training, people training, personality training. I got to learn so much more about myself that I didn't even really know, and I got to meet so many lifelong friends that we still hang out to this day. So, you know, that is my experience with Meg. Now, everybody else's experience is not the same. Some people's experience is a little more difficult. I had a bunch of just one-on-one interviews. Some people do group interviews. Some people have some with maybe they're the one person and they have a panel of 4 or 5 other people. It's so different depending on where you are, what store you're going to, what county you're going to. It's different if you're going from a Nordstrom's Meg to like a Macy's Meg to a Bloomingdale's Meg and a Meg store. There's so many different things that you have to do. So that literally was just my experience with working with Meg. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know people have been asking me to make this video for such a long time, and I've been taking forever. I really don't even know why it took me so long. But yes, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And even if you work in Meg, or if you have any other questions, just comment down below in the description box, and I'll get back to you guys, let you know some other answers at. And I want to know your experience on how you got hired at the job. But until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.